What it is, I'm Parlay Hunter. We're back with the 49ers special, the annual show. We're here with our special guests. We got my man Dwight. We got my man Reece. A couple of 49ers super fans, guys with strong opinions about the 49ers and the NFL. We're going to talk about some futures bets. We're going to talk about the 49ers, of course, and then we'll cover a couple other things. We'll move through this pretty quickly. I want to get your strong opinions. And if you guys got a little back and forth, let's hear the back and forth. But let's get right into it real quick. 49ers, I'm sure you guys are feeling confident, right, as we head into the new season.
I don't know if
Let me,
confidence is the word, but
let me ask you first.
It's I think this is the first year I've had in a long time without expectations. It kind of feels good to just be kind of slide under the radar, confident in not having the first pick. That's about it.
Okay. Reece, how are you feeling?
yeah, I don't know if confident is the word that I would use. I we got a lot of question marks coming into this season. What is our receiver room going to look like? What are the receivers that we have on the roster going to be able to do? We got a lot of new faces and a lot of new places. Just being with Sky Moore, and I know he's not a receiver, but Brian Robinson Jr. joining the fold just both in the last week. We got a contract dispute with Juwan Jennings. We got Brandon Ayuk probably going to be out until at least week 6. So that receiver room is a huge question mark. And then that all falls on the quarterback and the run game, really.
So that's where I want to go right away. Brock Purdy. What are your expectations for Brock Purdy? What does he have to do? Does he still have something to prove being the 49ers quarterback and the future of the franchise? Dwight, let me ask you.
I really wouldn't say he has anything to prove until we lose. I mean, he's been a pretty consistent winner other than last year. So as long as he's winning games in the NFL, he's kind of set a standard where he's going to have the team in contention, and if everything else is working, we're kind of a Super Bowl contender. So I don't think he has to do anything different, but have a healthy Christian McCaffrey, and I think everything else kind of works out for that guy.
Okay, Reece, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think a healthy Christian McCaffrey goes a long way. And, because he's never really been the type of guy that's going to will the team to win necessarily. I mean, he's got to play point guard, which is what he's great at. He distributes the ball to his playmakers, and as long as he's able to do that, then I think that puts us in a good enough position to win games.
All right, so you say playmakers, but you guys at the beginning of this podcast, you mentioned how a bunch of people are contract disputes. We got injuries. Who's stepping up for IU? You guys just got Brian Robinson, traded him for a 6th-round pick. What does this really mean? Who's going to step up? Where's this extra workload going to go?
Well, I think we're going to run the offense heavily through the backs. I mean, Christian McCaffrey and Brian Robinson are going to get a bulk of the workload, I feel like. And then it all comes down to how quickly can Sky Moore assimilate into the offense? How much of a progression has Ricky Pearsall made in the offseason? Can Jordan Watkins be a guy like they expected him to be when they drafted him? So it's all question marks from the receiver standpoint. We know what Juwan Jennings is, but is Juwan Jennings going to be on the field? We know what Brandon Ayuk is, but is he going to return to form coming off of a pretty gruesome knee injury? Those are the questions that are still up in the air, and there's only one way to find out, and is that's getting between those white lines.
Juwan Jennings, 3rd and 1. I feel like he stepped up for you guys when you needed him to. You still got Kittle, of course. Does this whole Brian Robinson thing being traded, does this take any fantasy points away from Christian McCaffrey, Dwight?
I don't really see it. I've been watching the 49ers since Kyle Shanahan got there do pretty much the same thing every year. Their lead back is going to put up a bunch of fantasy points and get a million touches, and Shanahan's going to run them into the ground. And every week when you think, man, we got to lower his workload, he's just going to give them more and more. George Kittle is going to be consistent, get 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns. And then Shanahan just has a way of having receivers running wide open. It doesn't matter who's been hurt, who's been there. Every year, a different guy got 1,000 yards receiving. And with Kittle and McCaffrey giving you another 1,500, you don't need anybody to really be a superstar. I think Pearsall might be a Pro Bowler the way Shanahan draws up plays. If not, it doesn't really matter who's in there, man. I don't think Brian Robinson gets that many touches, though. I think he's insurance in case Christian McCaffrey gets hurt, and I really don't see that happening this year. He had a whole offseason to get to work. I think this is like McCaffrey's swan song, his last real super productive year. His last year being underestimated and getting enough touches to really, impose his will on the game. So what I really look forward to like a 10-6 49er season with McCaffrey rushing for 1,600 yards and getting his normal 21 to 22 touches. So,
Okay, you mentioned Ricky Parcells. I like that. Reece, what do you think about the addition of Brian Robinson? How does this affect Christian McCaffrey's fantasy season?
I mean, I like it. From a fan standpoint, I like Brian Robinson coming into the fold because I think it gives us the depth that we were kind of lacking. Isaac Arendo couldn't stay healthy. We lost Jordan Mason in the offseason. And so adding him, it allows them to have another guy who they can lean on, say Christian McCaffrey does get nicked up or they want him to do some of that dirty running, which, I feel like this season, especially with Christian McCaffrey missing time 3 out of the last 5 years. I think it allows him to kind of lessen his workload slightly, but not to the point where it's going to really affect his numbers too much.
But let me ask you, is Christian McCaffrey still a top 10 fantasy pick?
Absolutely. He's top 10, no doubt.
Okay.
I would say this. I'm looking, man, 8 or 9. I have the 9th pick in my league, and it's like Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, or a question mark at wide receiver in my eyes. And out of all those choices, I keep coming. I think I'm gonna have to go with McCaffrey. Because the only real question is how much Shanahan. It ain't even a question. Shanahan don't give the ball to nobody else. It's literally the reason Debo's career went to shit. He went to shit the minute Christian McCaffrey showed up. He just stopped giving him the ball. It's like he loses all creative. We lost the Super Bowl because Kyle Shanahan got so enamored with just turning and handing the ball to Christian McCaffrey. And then Christian McCaffrey had to come out for a play, and the whole team went to shit. Because Shanahan can't stop giving him the ball. Even when he have 28, 29 touches, he'll still keep giving him the ball. I have never seen anything like the way Shanahan fanboys over Christian McCaffrey.
Well, because he's wanted him since he was coming out of the draft. It was Kyle's first Niners head coach. And you can even look it up. His dad told him, don't draft him, not with your first selection. As the
right. Come on, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing?
But then it just goes to show you because he would stop at nothing to get him on his team at some point.
Bro, we basically gave up a first-round pick for a 28-year-old running back or something.
Yeah.
It's a fanboy situation, but he produces. If he's on the field, that guy produces. And I think Brian Robinson I've been watching him since college, and he's never shown me that he deserved to be a starter. But he's always looked like an elite level backup. He looks like a starter, but doesn't play like a starter. I think being with the 49ers is a perfect role for him. And if Shanahan is willing to reduce Christian McCaffrey's workload, Brian Robinson could be very effective with 8 to 10 touches a game. But I just don't see him. I don't even see him playing 8 to 10 plays a game. So I don't know how he gets his touches.
I agree. I see him more in that kind of role that Jeff Wilson was in 2019.
For sure. And on the 49ers, those guys bust. Like, the guy that just get 4 to 6 carries a game, he comes in and breaks a 40, 50-yarder. Garendo is doing it all the time. Jeff Wilson went crazy in that role a few times. Even Elijah Mitchell excelled in that role. It's just the starter has to be there to eat up those carries.
Yeah.
And the coach got to give him a chance. With the 49ers, though, it comes down to O-line. It's all the O-line. It's all about the O-line.
I was just going to say, Big
We'll
Trent is the kind of the engine behind this whole thing. If we got Trent Williams in the game, I feel like we could win any game.
I looked at our depth chart yesterday, and they talk about the receivers and everybody else so much this year. I haven't paid attention to our O-line. Our O-line is a travesty.
Oh, yeah.
There isn't a single guy on that line besides Trent and Pooney, even in the room, that I think would even be on other NFL rosters. And the Shanahans are known for working miracles, but McKissick, Brendel, these dudes are like afterthought players in the league. And they're who we're dependent on.
And my question is, what happened to Spencer Burford? Because
right,
he went from being a future superstar on the bench.
Not on the, he not just on the bench. On the depth chart, he's listed as the backup left tackle. Literally the one guy that's never coming
And we
in.
started him at guard.
Right. The one thing, like I said, I looked at that depth chart, and Pooney is hurt. He gonna play hurt this year. I feel like that's like regression for an offensive lineman. It's always tough to play that second year injured after you play well as a rookie. But
Mm-hmm.
So before we get off the 49ers, I just want to ask you, Robert Saleh's back. He is coaching the defense. What do you guys expect from the defense and Robert Saleh coming back and coaching the defense? Where are the holes? Where are the key pieces? What do you guys think about this defense and how they're going to hold up this year? Dwight, let me ask you.
I feel like this is like the last hurrah for Fred Warner and the old school way of 49ers doing things. Once again, I looked at the depth chart on defense. I don't really recognize those guys. This is more of like entering Joey Bosa's second phase of his career. And to me, it feels like Lamore's defense. So honestly, I think they're going to have a really aggressive pass defense because his attitude is just crazy. They're going to be flying all over the place, but I do not know how we stop the run. I don't have any. I think we're gonna have one of the worst run defenses in the league.
Reece,
That's easy to say.
To me, it comes down to these young guys. I mean, they built it up from scratch before, and it was obviously a work in progress at the beginning, but they built that defense that was so, highly regarded years ago, mostly from the draft, not necessarily really through free agency. I mean, we drafted a lot of defensive linemen this year with Alfred Collins and Mykel Williams, Nick Martin coming in to play linebacker, and then will D. Winters be who they expect him to be with losing Dre Greenlaw? Fred Warner kind of needs that Robin to his Batman that he's always had his entire career. And, they say he's flying around, they say he's hitting, but it just is a matter of how productive are those second and third linebackers going to be? Because you know exactly what you're going to get from Fred Warner. But how are Nick Martin, how are D. Winters, how are guys like that going to come in and impact the game, really? And is Mykel Williams who he's billed to be? Because they're saying that he's the best edge setter in the draft, and that there's nobody's going to get outside of him, but we got to wait and find out, really.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think that Lynch has made some very questionable decisions along the D line, with the exception of Joey Bosa since the day he got there. He's just made questionable decision. I can't believe in any decision he's made on the D line, with the exception of Bosa, and all of that comes to roost this year. He's got another first round pick on the D line and a bunch of D tackles you never heard of, and none of the guys he drafted except Mykel Williams is projected to start. So we'll see, but I don't have faith in that line.
It seems to me like they're trying to recreate the defensive line of old with these young guys because you got CJ West, who they're comparing to what's his name, DJ Jones. You got Alfred Collins, who's just a space eater. He's the biggest D lineman in the draft. And then you got Mykel Williams, who they're comparing to DeForest Buckner. So, I mean, it seems to me like they're trying to make up for all these guys that they let walk away years ago. And they've been trying to do that since they let those guys walk away.
Right.
And they were able to mitigate that because they had Dre Greenlaw, because they had Fred Warner, because they had Nick Bosa, and they were getting high level corner play on the outside when they had Sherman, and now they're getting high level corner play from Lenore. And the pass defense is going to be good too. I mean, you've got Lenore, you've got Renardo Green coming off of a good rookie year, and Chase Lucas had a nice preseason. It just all I think the defense is going to have a lot of energy, but I agree that the run defense is a question mark until proven otherwise.
Okay. Real quick, before we sign off, I want to just quickly talk about these rookies, predictions, defensive rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. Talking to Dwight before the show, it sounds like he got Travis Hunter going both ways, offense and defense rookie of the year. But Dwight, seriously, what do you think? Who do you think is going to win defensive rookie of the year and offensive rookie of the year?
Okay, I'm gonna go with two splash players that I saw making splash plays all preseason. My pick for offensive rookie of the year is Travion Henderson, New England. Every single time I see him, he's breaking free, getting loose. The only question I have about him is he going to be able to stay healthy because he was nicked up a lot in college. But He's always been an explosive player. New England has nobody to really build their offense around or lean on. So I think he has a great opportunity. I mean, I think normally it's a quarterback, but not this year. I don't think the Titans are going to be anywhere near good enough for Cam Ward to even have a chance to win the Rookie of the Year. So in that case, you always go with a running back. So I'm going with Travion Henderson. And defensively, I like Jihad Campbell. I like the numbers that Zach Barn put up last year in Philadelphia and the ability to just make a lot of tackles, a lot of plays. They blitz a lot. They let these guys flying all over the field. I think he is perfectly built for the way they play, and he has a monster D line in front of him. He's just going to be running free all season, piling up stats. Those are my two choices.
For offensive rookie of the year, I mean, I got to agree. I gotta go with the running back. I think it's going to be a guy who's a little bit more under the radar, and I think it's going to be based a lot on his volume, and that's Omarion Hampton. I think that Harbaugh is going to feed him and feed him and feed him the ball because he loves to run. And I think that just based on the volume of carries that he's going to get, the stats are going to be out of this world for a rookie back. And I think he's got the skill to back it. I mean, he's a big, fast, strong, he's built like kind of those running backs that you see, like not necessarily comparing him to, but like Adrian Peterson, Marshawn Lynch, that class of back. And then as far as the defensive side goes, I like the Jihad Campbell pick, but I think it's going to be somebody who's going to benefit off of being a part of an already great defense, and that's Jahdae Barron. I think that having the players around him in Denver, Jahdae Barron is going to be able to eat on the opposite side of Patrick Surtain.
I like it.
I like
Well,
both these picks.
I appreciate you coming by for the 49ers podcast. We do this every year. It's fun to get your takes. You guys, I wish you the best of luck. I think, keep your hopes high. But Seahawks are winning the division that year. So good luck. Sam Darnold's going to be passing all over your ass. And
The doormat.
We're going to see about that.
no. All right. So good luck to you guys. I appreciate you coming through, and good luck. And we'll talk soon.
Yes, sir.